What happens when a king lets his guard down in public, not with words, but with gestures of pure love? When a monarch reaches for his queen's hand, not just out of duty, but out of deep devotion. The world stops to watch. And in Denmark, that's exactly what happened. King Frederik and Queen Mary, once just a fairy tale romance between a Tasmanian commoner and a Danish crown prince, are now the heartbeat of a monarchy admired around the globe. But recently, something truly extraordinary happened. A public display of affection so touching, so real, it reignited the world's love for this couple and left even the most cynical royal watchers emotional. Today, we take you inside the moment that got the world talking, and show you why King Frederik and Queen Mary's love story is more alive than ever. It's hard to believe it all started in a Sydney bar. In the year 2000, during the Sydney Olympics, a young woman named Mary Donaldson met a man who introduced himself simply as Fred. What she didn't know, at least not right away, was that she was chatting with Denmark's crown prince. Mary, a marketing executive from Hobart, Tasmania, had no royal blood, no aristocratic lineage, no blueprint for palace life. But what she did have was confidence, kindness, and quiet elegance, qualities that would later charm not just a prince, but an entire nation. Their romance was not splashed all over tabloids in the early days. In fact, it was quite private. But slowly and surely, Mary transitioned from a young professional into one of the most beloved modern royals. Their wedding in 2004 was broadcast live across Denmark and Australia. Millions watched as Mary became Her Royal Highness Crown Princess of Denmark. And what began as a real-life fairy tale has matured, 2 decades later, into a partnership of trust, laughter, resilience, and, yes, romance. So, what exactly happened that got everyone talking? It wasn't a state dinner. It wasn't an international summit. It wasn't even a red carpet. It was an ordinary royal engagement. But what made it extraordinary was a simple touch. Cameras captured King Frederik and Queen Mary walking hand in hand, laughing naturally, pausing often to look into each other's eyes, not as monarch and consort, but as husband and wife. At one point, Frederik gently brushed Mary's hair behind her ear as they exchanged a quiet smile. That single moment exploded across social media. TikTok clips of the gesture gained millions of views within hours. Twitter, now X, buzzed with users saying things like, "This is what love looks like after 20 years. They're still so into each other. I've never seen a royal couple this relaxed and real. Their couple goals." And on Instagram, royal fan pages from Europe to Australia reposted the video with captions like, "King of Hearts, Frederik shows the world what a modern monarch looks like." The world was not just watching, they were feeling something. For a public so often fatigued by scandal, indifference, or cold formality from royal families, this was different. This was tender. This was authentic. This was love, unfiltered and unforced. It might sound silly to some. What's the big deal about a married couple holding hands? But in royal circles, every movement is scrutinized. Every step carries symbolism, and public displays of affection. Rare, often discouraged, particularly for monarchs. In the British royal family, for example, public display of affection is typically minimal. King Charles and Queen Camilla are rarely seen embracing in public. The late Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip were famously reserved. Even William and Kate, the Prince and Princess of Wales, tend to be formal in most settings. But Frederik and Mary, they've always been different. Throughout their relationship, they've shown affection at official events, in portraits, even during solemn occasions. But now, as king and queen, the stakes are higher. And yet, their tenderness remains. Royal experts agree, this latest moment of intimacy marks a shift. It says to the world, we are human first. Titles second. Body language expert Louise Mahler told Danish press, Frederik is not just leading the nation, he's leading in love. And Mary reflects that beautifully. They are in sync emotionally, and it shows. The moment didn't just light up Danish media. It went global. In Australia, where Queen Mary remains a national pride, headlines gushed over Australia's queen, and her fairy tale love still thriving. Channel 7 ran a special on Mary and Frederik, the royal romance reborn. Australian viewers flooded comment sections with joy. In France, where royal style and elegance are practically religion, Paris Match praised Mary as the graceful queen with a modern heart. In Japan, where tradition often mirrors Denmark's quiet dignity, NHK ran segments highlighting how the couple balances protocol and personality. Even in the US, where monarchies are distant curiosities, People magazine and Vanity Fair covered the moment, calling it an emotional masterclass in royal connection. But what does this say about the world we live in? It says people are hungry for realness. In an age of constant image management, of polished perfection, a little bit of genuine love goes a long way. Let's break it down, frame by frame. The hand hold. Not a loose grip. Not stiff, but interlocked fingers, symbolizing emotional connection, not just comfort. The eye contact. Prolonged and focused. Their smiles weren't for the cameras. They were for each other. Intimate, knowing. The touch to her hair. This was the most powerful gesture. It said, I see you. I care for you, even now, especially now. Psychologists say such subtle gestures build emotional trust and show deep familiarity. After 20 years of marriage, it's rare, but powerful. This isn't the first time King Frederik and Queen Mary have displayed affection publicly. Let's take a moment to relive some of their most heartwarming moments. Wedding Day, 2004. Frederik, with tears in his eyes, told Mary in Danish, I love you. The emotion in his voice made it one of the most memorable royal vows in history. 2006, at the birth of Prince Christian, Frederik kissed Mary's forehead as she held their newborn, whispering something no cameras could catch, but Mary smiled, visibly moved. 2015 New Year's Gala. As Mary stepped onto the palace staircase in her tiara, Frederik extended his hand to help her down the steps. A gentleman's move, but more than that, a lover's gesture. 2023 Christmas photo shoot. The family posed together at Marselisborg Palace. But in a behind-the-scenes video, Frederik placed his arm around Mary as they shared a joke with their children, completely unscripted, deeply real. Frederik and Mary are not just role models for Denmark, they're redefining monarchy for a new generation. They've weathered rumors, personal challenges, and the enormous weight of transitioning from crown prince and princess to king and queen. But through it all, they've never strayed far from each other. In an age where royal marriages can fall apart under pressure, look at Prince Charles and Diana, or Prince Harry's stormy exit. Frederik and Mary seem to have built something stronger. Something rooted in mutual respect and genuine affection. Royal historian Lars Hufbach Sorensen said in an interview with Dr. This public display shows that the Danish monarchy is entering a new era, one where love isn't hidden behind palace walls. It is shared, it is celebrated. Danish author Trine Villman, a longtime royal commentator, added, Queen Mary represents grace and global appeal. But it's her bond with Frederik that humanizes her. When they laugh, touch, or share a quiet moment, it connects them to the people. What's life like when the cameras are off? Sources close to the royal household say King Frederik and Queen Mary live a surprisingly grounded life when possible. At their residence in Amalienborg Palace, they reportedly enjoy cooking with their children, taking quiet walks along the harbor, and spending weekends at their country estate in Trent. One staff member, quoted anonymously, shared, when you see them together in private, you understand, it's not for show. They laugh like teenagers. They're best friends. With Queen Margrethe's abdication earlier this year, Denmark has entered a new royal era. And while King Frederik takes on the serious role of head of state, he's also showing that leadership doesn't have to be cold or distant. Queen Mary, ever elegant and diplomatic, continues her work in mental health, women's empowerment, and social cohesion. Together, they are rewriting the script for royal couples, not just in Denmark, but worldwide. They met by chance. They fell in love without a crown in mind. But now, as king and queen, Frederik and Mary show us that even under the weight of duty, love can flourish, if nurtured. And sometimes, all it takes is one small gesture, to remind the world that even monarchs are human. In the world of royalty, nothing is ever just casual. Every brooch, every bow, every glance, carries weight. The same goes for public displays of affection. So when King Frederik casually reaches for Queen Mary's hand, or adjusts her hair, it's not merely romance. It's symbolism. It tells the Danish people, we are in this together. As rulers, as parents, as partners. These acts quietly defy centuries-old protocol that once demanded emotional distance. In earlier generations, monarchs rarely even smiled in public. Queen Victoria's era defined stoic, restrained royalty. But today, a different message is being sent, one of emotional availability, intimacy, and connection. And this symbolism isn't lost on the Danish people, nor on the rest of the world. It's easy to romanticize royalty. The jewels, the processions, the gowns. But behind the glamour are long hours, heavy schedules, and relentless public scrutiny. For Frederik and Mary, balancing love with duty is no small feat. Some days start at dawn with parliamentary meetings and end with state banquets deep into the night. During state visits, they represent an entire nation on foreign soil. Every word is weighed, every expression analyzed. Yet, amid all this, King Frederik and Queen Mary make room for love. Whether it's a glance across the room during a diplomatic dinner, or a hand on the back while leaving a church, they inject warmth into the cold machinery of royal protocol. This is modern monarchy with a beating heart. When we compare Frederik and Mary's relationship to others in Europe's royal houses, something becomes clear: they're among the few couples who balance genuine affection with royal decorum. Consider King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima of the Netherlands, another affectionate couple, yes, but with a different dynamic. Or King Felipe and Queen Letizia of Spain, refined, elegant, but often more formal in public. Frederik and Mary walk a unique tightrope. Their humanness doesn't diminish their authority, it enhances it. Even Crown Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel of Sweden, who are deeply loved, don't often share quite the same relaxed intimacy in front of the public. So what sets Frederik and Mary apart? Perhaps it's their foundation in a real-world romance, one that started in anonymity and bloomed without the pressure of titles, until it had to. Queen Mary's Australian heritage is more than a footnote, it's central to how she carries herself. She wasn't born into nobility. She was raised with values of independence, humility, and community. And those values, still very much visible today, bring a sense of grounding to Denmark's monarchy. It also influences how she interacts with Frederik. There's an equality in their relationship that reflects Mary's background. She doesn't play a subservient role, nor does she dominate. There's balance, eye-level respect, mutual admiration. When Frederik shows her affection in public, it's not just romantic, it's a salute to her as an equal partner. A queen in title, but also in character. Let's not forget, the love story of King Frederik and Queen Mary is also a lesson, especially for their 4 children. Prince Christian, the future king. Princess Isabella, maturing into a public figure. Twins Prince Vincent and Princess Josephine, both already stealing hearts with their charisma. They've grown up seeing their parents love each other openly and honestly. That's rare, not just for royal kids, but for children in any high-profile household. Imagine the example this sets. Leadership that doesn't just come from thrones and titles, but from kindness, connection, and shared values. In a few decades, when Prince Christian takes the throne, he won't just inherit a crown. He'll inherit a blueprint, one drawn from his parents' love. While the world saw that now famous public hand-hold, insiders say this kind of affection isn't new, it's just usually unfilmed. A palace aide once shared that every time Frederik returns from a solo engagement, his first stop is wherever Mary is. Even if it's just to greet her with a kiss on the cheek before heading to the next duty. During holidays, they're known to escape with their children to their private residence at Graston Palace. There, with no cameras around, they cook together, go biking as a family, and watch movies in the royal salon. One story: on Mary's birthday a few years ago, Frederik surprised her with a handwritten letter left under her breakfast plate. No diamonds, no grand gestures, just words, thoughtful, real, and deeply personal. There's a reason their approval ratings remain consistently high in Denmark, and it's not just about policy or tradition. The people feel them. They see a couple who laugh together, raise their children in a stable home, and genuinely enjoy each other's company. That connection softens the public's perception of royalty as an institution. In short, their relationship isn't just a private matter. It's a strategic asset, one that boosts national morale, strengthens the monarchy's popularity, and draws attention to Danish diplomacy abroad. Even during tense political periods, Queen Mary and King Frederik's calm, unified presence acts as a stabilizing force. Their love is quietly political. State visits can be grueling. Multiple countries in days, non-stop handshakes, speeches, protocol. Yet, even on royal tours, Frederik and Mary find moments of connection that shine through the diplomatic choreography. In Japan, 2017, during a walk through the Kyoto Imperial Palace Gardens, Frederik plucked a blossom and gently handed it to Mary. Cameras caught the shy smile she gave him. The image went viral. In the US, during a Denmark-California trade summit, they shared a private laugh on stage while waiting for a delayed speech. Their microphones were hot. "You always look so beautiful when you're pretending to listen," Frederik joked. Mary smirked, replying, "You're just lucky I'm still pretending." Moments like these humanize them. They turn state visits into stories. And stories, into legacy. No royal story is complete without the voice of the people. We spoke with Danish citizens, from Copenhagen to Aalborg, to understand how they view this royal couple. "I've never been into monarchy," says 28-year-old Henrik, a teacher from Odense. "But when I see the way Frederik looks at Mary, I believe in their love. And that makes me believe in the crown again. They remind me of my own parents," says Ingrid, a 60-year-old nurse. "Strong, united, but always sweet to each other. It gives me comfort that our country is led by that kind of energy. I show my daughters pictures of Queen Mary when I talk about confidence and kindness," says Amal, a mother of 3 in Aarhus. "She's not just a queen, she's a woman in love. And that's powerful." These voices echo across age groups, professions, and regions. There's one message. Frederik and Mary aren't distant figures, they're part of the Danish story. As monarchies face growing questions of relevance in the 21st century, King Frederik and Queen Mary offer a quiet but compelling answer. They aren't trying to be perfect. They're not clinging to the past. They're showing what monarchy can be when it embraces authentic love, and lets it be seen. Their public affection isn't just cute or heartwarming. It's strategic, symbolic, and yes, revolutionary in its own soft way. It sends this message to Denmark, and to the world. You can have tradition and tenderness. You can have duty and devotion. You can be a king and a husband, a queen and a partner. In doing so, they don't just model a better royal marriage. They model a better kind of leadership, one that leads with the heart. From a bar in Sydney to the throne in Copenhagen, their love story defies centuries of royal rigidity. It whispers the truth that love, real love, needs no crown, no scepter, no stage. Just 2 hearts, and the courage to hold hands in a world that watches. Do you think King Frederik and Queen Mary are changing how we see royalty forever? Or is this just a fleeting fairy tale in a world that's still deeply traditional? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because love like this deserves a conversation. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, so you never miss the real stories behind royal lives.